Hello, English 405. It's me, your teacher. It's Pete. Oh, look, little mini me is back. He's looking pretty good. I've got him fixed. I was thinking maybe that I could, maybe put him really close, something like this, maybe. But then I thought, well, that might get in the way a little bit. That might be a little distracting. So, or like in some way that just replace my head. And so then I could just be like, hey, how's everybody doing? Y'all are doing great. At any rate. Tonight we're gonna tonight. It's nighttime. I'm down in my basement. And we're gonna write 4 poems tonight. Shouldn't take us too long to write those 4 poems. They all come from I'm gonna give you titles for the poems. All the titles come from phrases from a poem by James Tate, which I'm going to write in the comments section below. So that poem is called Teaching the Ape to Write Poems. I'm going to read that for us, and then we'll talk about it real quick, and then we'll write some poems. Teaching the ape to write poems. They didn't have much trouble teaching the ape to write poems. First, they strapped him into the chair, then tied the pencil around his hand. The paper had already been nailed down. Then Dr. Bluespire leaned over his shoulder and whispered into his ear, "You look like a god sitting there. Why don't you try writing something?" And so there's a lot that I like about that poem. I like that it's not just, then the doctor leaned over his shoulder. It's Dr. Bluespire, who I don't know who Dr. Bluespire is, but he certainly sounds like an interesting fella. And then I really like the idea, right, that we are basically apes, right? We're one of the hominids of this world, right? And how hard is it for us to write poems? Well, not that hard, people. You sit down in a chair, you grab yourself a pencil, the paper's already down, and you just act like a god. And by acting like a god, to me, that means you just create out of nothing. There's nothing here on this page. Nothing exists. And by the time this video is over, 4 poems are going to exist. And those 4 poems, they're going to be made up of all these individual words. But those 4 poems add up to more than that. They add up to something that's going to be real, that wasn't real before. And so I just really like this idea of, what is writing? Well, one way of looking at writing is acting like a little god. And so, I don't know. Think about that maybe. Cool poem. James Tate's terrific poet. Lots of really cool poems. I'll probably read you another one this semester from him just for fun. So the first poem that we're going to write tonight is going to be called Much Trouble. I gotta move me. Oh man, me's just gonna. I might have to put me. I need a little shelf for me, someplace that me's not gonna be in the way of me. So the first poem that we are going to write tonight is called Much Trouble. Much Trouble. When I say go in just a second, you are going to start your poem entitled Much Trouble. I don't care where your poem ends up going. I don't care what your poem's about or how long it is or whatever. You can write about whatever you want. But the key is that when I say go, that we're writing. We must be writing. Okay? So when I say go, let's write a poem called Much Trouble. On your mark, get set, a poemify. People, I just wrote a poem. If you're still writing, you can stop this and start it again in just a second. This is a poem that I wrote called Much Trouble. The way I look at the world is the way I look at you, but without the love and affection and the good vibes. Instead, the world looks like a bowl of water holding 3 dead fish. I say 3 dead fish for no good reason, but it's true. There are 3 dead fish in the bowl I just invented. Sometimes in the evening, when I think about running away, I find myself in a gas mask floating through a dream. You are usually there, but then sometimes you're not, and when you're not, I know it's not going to be good for me, baby. I like the baby at the end. Whatever, people, it's a poem, right? Easy enough to do. You just sit down in the chair and, you try writing something. Next poem that I want to write is just going to be called Teaching the Ape, which, of course, is similar to the James poem title. Y'all ready? On your mark, get set. This is called Teaching the Ape. Go. Okay, everyone. Here's the poem that I wrote. It's called Teaching the Ape. When you do, let go of your sense of dignity, because you're not going to be able to hold on to that unless you're also willing to work for National Geographic. A whole bookcase full of yellow spines sounds like a room full of cowards, but it's really a whole bunch of National Geographics. On every cover, there is an ape. On every ape, there is a t-shirt. On every t-shirt, it says, kneel for the cross and stand for the flag. Yay! It's poems, people. Let's write a couple more, and then we'll be done for today for this video. Of course, you will post a poem of yours in the comments below, or some comments that are fine too about the James Tate poem or about anything else for that matter. This next poem is going to be called Like a God. Like a God. Are you ready? On your mark, get set. go. All right, people, I got another poem. Y'all want to hear it? You don't have a choice. This is called Like a God. Like a jerk at a baby shower, drunker than Winston Churchill and meaner than J.P. Getty. Here he comes in his big old britches and his floppy beard and his poor excuse for morality. Poor excuse for morality. I hate to say it, but traditionally I hate to say a lot of things. You can imagine, I imagine, or you can't imagine, I imagine. It's not very complicated. It only takes about 6 days, and yes, then you rest, and yes, then you wait for the praise to just come rolling in. All right, people. Let's do one more. And again, be sure that you share one of these in the comments. Be sure that you combine these poems with the poems that we do in class to turn in on Friday. So the last poem that we're going to write today is called Try Writing Something. Try writing something. And that is what we are going to do for the last one. Everybody ready? On your mic, get set, go. So this is mine called Try Writing Something. I would, but my professor keeps telling me to write nothing. But then he's not existent, and in addition to being very stupid. Try that again. I would, but my professor keeps telling me to write nothing. But then he's not existent, in addition to being very stupid. Of course, not all professors are stupid, but most of them are able to at least define the word. For instance, I would define stupid as something that is good with math but bad at mathematics. I mean, not really math, but more like writing, which is all my professor ever seems to talk about, except for when he's not here, which is always, or when he's gone, which is never. Well, people, it's a poem, just like the other poems that we wrote, just like the poems we will be writing. Y'all turn those in on Friday. I hope everyone has a great night, and I hope to be seeing you soon, people. Stay safe. Bye-bye.